Hello, this is Jen Mitchell-Love from Solace Divorce Mediation. Today's live is reflecting upon a conversation I had earlier tonight with a friend who I spent the weekend with at a women's retreat. She was one of, I think there were 12 of us, and we shared a room together, and she's so amazing and so sweet. And we talked today and she said, you know what, Jen, I've been sharing your Solace information with my friends in Florida. And, can you help people in Florida? Yes, Solace can serve anyone in the United States. And she said, I sent them your information. I was so excited. And when the man saw it, he was like turned off by my spiritual sharing my spiritual practice. And she didn't share until the end what she meant by that, but she had meant that I have on the website that I participate in plant medicine ceremonies. I think specifically ayahuasca is the one that he was referencing. Anyway, so of course, every conversation is a beautiful reflection. And I'm going to go on the website and make sure that all the narrative and everything is aligned with the vibration now. But yeah, so she said the masculine was turned off. And so that's one of the two shares I wanted to express in this live. And that is the feminine energy and the masculine energy like Solace for two very different reasons. Of course, because they're two very different energies. So the energy of Solace is very much the divine feminine energy. It's heart-led, it is collaborative, it is focused on children, it is focused on healing and love and all of the things that the feminine energy embodies. And so the feminine, Solace feminine energy clients, they like that space. They like that. They're getting weekly journal prompts, starting at acceptance and ending at creation. They like that. They like the videos. They like the emotional handbook and the legal handbook for that support. They like the focus on children. They like the guided meditations and breath work, and other healing tips and tools and resources. And so the feminine energy likes all of those things. The masculine energy likes Solace for different reasons. Of course, because they're a different energy. The masculine energy likes that it is faster than the courtroom litigation process. They like that it is less expensive than the courtroom litigation process. They like that their feminine energy counterpart is calm during the journey, which all of us know feminine energy. A calm feminine is so much better to be around and communicate with and negotiate with than an angry feminine. And they also like that I am an attorney of 20 years. Those are the reasons that the masculine energy likes Solace. And so that isn't to say that the masculine doesn't do the breath work or doesn't do the meditations or the journaling. They totally might, but that isn't usually the draw for them. So that was the first share that I wanted to express in this live. And then from that conversation that I just shared, I was sharing it with her. She suggested that maybe I take out my spiritual practice from the information on the website and just focus on, we are here to help people get a divorce, and we do it in a clean way, an efficient way, a legally correct way. Everything is done the way it's supposed to be done. And, they're being guided by an attorney who is acting in the capacity of mediator. And it was so interesting when that was suggested, because that makes sense. That makes sense, to share that. But the truth, the real heart of it, I shared with her, and this is the second part of this live, is the anatomy of Solace. And so I've shared before, Solace I started my own practice 15 and a half years ago. And Solace started when my youngest was born, and he's going to be 12. So for that whole time, I have received these divine messages, guidance, and we all receive messages and guidance. I receive it and I'm a diligent human, and then I put it into form, and I've always had to go through whatever message was communicated to really understand it and be able to teach it and coach my clients on it. And so a while back in the beginning of this journey, I was told that Solace has an anatomy. And so the heart of Solace is children, because we do not want any additional children anywhere to be negatively impacted by divorce. So children are the heart of Solace. The foundation of Solace is self-care and self-love, because you need to take really good care of yourself when you are going through a divorce. The soul of the practice is authenticity, speaking your truth, living your truth. And the root of the Solace journey is healing. And so when I shared that with her, I shared, I can't take me out of Solace because I birthed her. She's a reflection of me, and she has her own consciousness and her own soul and her own reason for being here. But we are reflections of one another, and healing is the real root of the work that we're doing at Solace. Yes, we're doing all the legal stuff, but if you ask any of my Solace clients, the legal stuff is so easy when we have the tools to really dig deep into the emotional stuff, the healing stuff, the deep-seated belief stuff of like, what did you learn as a child? And recognizing that you learn things from your parents, and they learned them from their parents, and they learned them from their parents. And really the healing that we're doing is ancestral lineage healing. It's so much deeper than just the legal process. And that's the thing. That's why I'm doing this live on this conversation. And I'm so grateful for this gorgeous goddess for this space to have that conversation and help me become even more clear of the work that we are doing at Solace, and even more excited for the next few years, where I feel she's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're going to be able to guide so many people through divorce in a totally different way, one that is mindful and intentional and loving, and that focuses on healing and releasing all that is not serving, and actively stepping into the space of co-creating your dream life and doing it all with love. It's so exciting and it's so amazing. And it isn't super woo-woo or scary. It's just a different way of seeing things. And I feel like my spiritual journey and spiritual practice is fueling the love in Solace. The more that I become clear in my heart and in my soul and in my path and in my purpose and in my medicine to share with the world, the more I can fuel her with those really high vibrational, pure energies. So I'm so grateful to be in this space to share all of this with you. And I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Mwah.